So here's an interesting story. I was walking the other day. I was telling God about, filling up my cup or filling up the cup and it overfloweth. Have the anointing just overflow. And it's so interesting that as I was, speaking with the Lord and walking, that He showed me a cup looked like a chalice or maybe a wine cup. And it was filled halfway or probably a little bit more than halfway with this beautiful looking olive oil. Really, really nice looking. And then the rest of the cup was filled with like a bluish water and then another color of water on top of the oil. And I was like, well, that's interesting, Lord. What am I looking at? He says, a lot of people are filled, have the anointing about halfway through their cup. But the rest of the cup is filled with worldly things that they don't realize that they're filling it up with. And the Lord told me, it's hard for me to pour my anointing in a cup that's already full, already has stuff in it. And I know a lot of people have heard that you have to empty out your cup. Because a lot of times the Lord can't fill when there's no room for it to grow, to be filled. And I said, well, what are some of the things? What's the blue liquid? He said, the blue liquid, he says, was Netflix, which is interesting because I don't own Netflix. But I was getting a point across. He was getting a point across. And it was that people like to binge watch. You binge watch shows that take hours and hours of your time. And then he showed me some of the other stuff, and I was like, what's that other stuff? He goes, those who spend hours and hours playing video games and just stuff that's just occupying the cup that should belong to God. So I was like, that makes a lot of sense. And then he says, it goes double for those who have a ministry. Those pastors or preachers or teachers or those who have an elevated status. He goes, they have to empty themselves out even more. More that is given, the more is required. So for them to get that special anointing that they're looking for, that abundance, they really have to empty out their cup. They have to be ready to receive what the Lord has for them. And the Lord will fill it. But the problem is, emptying out the cup isn't necessarily always easy. It's a lot of habits people don't want to let go of. So in order to grow, you must make room. In order to make room, you have to get rid of some stuff you might not want to get rid of. Stuff, whatever it is that's taking more time, occupying the time that should go to the Lord. Now, I'm not saying you can't watch a movie. You can have family time and watch a movie. But those who binge watch Friends or another show, and they're doing it for 3-4 days straight, and then they end up jumping to another show, that's what the Lord's talking about. It's that kind of stuff that takes away from the Lord. He can't fill a cup when there's no room for it to grow. Or to be filled, I should say. Be blessed.